There are 67 cards in total with the character development deck. You have 12 archetype cards, 50 double-sided inspirational cards, as well as 3 character arc cards. You also have an index card for your inspiration cards and an index for your archetypes. There's also a card that has a QR code to go to dunhamade.com, which is where you can download the free character development worksheet. All you have to do is sign up for the newsletter, and in the welcome email you'll get a link to download the character worksheet. You'll start with your archetype cards. You have 12. You'll pick the one that is most appropriate to yours. Let's say we wanted to pick the Magician. And you don't have to only pick one. If you wanted to combine archetypes, you could pick 2 or more. On your archetype card, you'll have the title, description, as well as some examples. And then there's the artwork on the back as well. So we'll keep those to the side and keep that in mind as we're filling out our character worksheet. Next, you'll go to your inspiration cards. I like to go through the portraits first, just kind of randomly flipping through it for inspiration. And then from there, that's when you'll get your character worksheet. And you start drawing questions and filling it out on your worksheet. There's a few different ways you can go about this. One, you could pick by subject. You'll see they're color-coded up here. And if you need to, you can reference your index card. Let's say we wanted to use the personality cards. You can just pull out all the personality cards and go through them and pick out the questions that are the most interesting to you, or you could just draw them randomly. Let's just say we pick a few of these at random. And you really want to force yourself to answer these. That'll help you make a better, more dynamic character. It'll force you to think about things you might not have considered before. Another way is you could go through all the questions and answer every single one of them. And if it's just not applicable, you can skip it. Or maybe you want to answer it, but you don't have the answer right away. You can set it to the side and come back to it later. Another way, other than picking by subject, would be to use the entire deck and just drawing cards randomly throughout the deck. And if you want to use the inspiration deck to its maximum potential, you could go through the entire deck answering all 100 questions. Although I would think for most characters that probably wouldn't be necessary. Then finally we have our character arc cards. We have positive, negative, and flat, as well as a description and some examples. And on the back of the cards are how to use these character arcs in a 3-act structure, which corresponds with our worksheet. And this is where you can fill this out down here. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. So here's where you can take notes on your character's changes throughout the 3-act structure. So you can start off who your character is in the first act, what they're facing in the second act, and the changes to that character by the third act. The character development deck is a quick, easy to use, compact system that is guaranteed to help you make better characters for your stories. You can reach out to me at dunhamade.com if you have any questions, comments, or feedback.